When you are waking up in the middle of the night at 4 or 5, what does that look like? What are we doing? Are we, are we like, oh, let me go eat? Are we chilling in the bed trying to go back to sleep? Let me know what that looks like.
I'm pretty much just like very emotional, like just tossing. Sometimes I like ring my pillow, like I can't sleep. Like seriously, like I think I had a past with like my mom, like not 1 second over the time, and I had to be in bed. So I have this weird thing with sleep. Like if you don't sleep, your life is over. So that could play into it why I have more anxiety, but I am like tossing and turning and like I won't look at my phone and I won't get up to try to eat or anything. I'm just like really just trying to go back to bed, praying that
Okay.
I go back to bed. Yeah.
So let's implement this moving forward just to see what this looks like. So I feel like I feel like you have your night routine down pat. We haven't really discussed mornings because I don't see that being an issue. It's more so about the quality. I feel like when we get the quality sleep, mornings are going to naturally flow. Next time, if you find yourself trying to wake up, don't fight it. Don't get mad at yourself, whatever. Even if it comes up, cool, who cares? It's more so about let's do a
Okay.
meditation. Because sometimes
Okay.
there's a thing where like if you're waking up between the hours of 3 to 5, especially if it's repeatedly in a phase and or that always happens, lean a bit into meditation. See what that brings you. If that can get you back if that can give you some downloads that can bring you to a meditative state and or help your sleep. Let's do this for the next couple of days just to see if it happens, just to see what that looks like and how it is. So I would say for the next, I'm hearing at least 5, but let's just say 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 times if this happens. Let's play around with that and let's see what that looks
I
like.
will say that I do try to do that. Like I do try to sit in a meditative state, but what ends up happening for me is my body feels so terrible. Like my head hurts. I like can't even pay attention to like my
Mm,
thought process or like I'm just like this sucks. I'm in so much pain. Like I'm even gonna cry right now. Like it's so
no,
terrible.
no, I get
So
it. That's
I
real.
do try, but I don't think I try hard enough. Like I'm not like maybe I should get up, just go outside. I don't know, but it's just awful.
How long has this been going on?
Since everything, so honestly, my this other girl that I'm doing the spiral studies with thinks I'm restless because of an awakening experience. Like I'm awakened, my conscious is awakening. I don't know if that's it, but I feel like the sleep started to happen more, like not sleeping after like I called the cops on this lady after I left and went to the Virgin Islands. Like she's so severed from like we live in a small town, so she would see me at the grocery store. Like the connection is just so severed. And I do feel like she is a karmic twin flame. Like we've probably been
Mhm.
through this so many past lives. And now I finally have broken this cycle. And it's just such a big deal. Like that's what I think this is about. So,
And it's interesting that they said that because I feel like I won't necessarily say that I just deeply feel it is the source, but I do feel like if it's not part of the source, then it will be part of the solution. So I felt that too, which is why I was saying let's lean more into meditation and
okay.
going back to allowing it to be fluid. Sometimes this can look like, you know what, maybe I should get out of the bed and go to a different room. Maybe I should run another bath, do a spiritual bath, add some, get some incense going. And it's going to be, I know it can be weird because again, the reality is maybe that could be a peak creative period for you and you naturally do it and you find that you're more working in those couple of hours that you're up and then you maybe take a nap later throughout the day or whatever this looks like. We could let's start to approach this with a level of flexibility and or seeing how it could work for us versus it being things have to be this way and if they're not this way something is wrong because I feel like that is also a domino effect into other things when it's like okay clearly my body was trying to tell me something, what does this
Yeah.
look like? So
Yeah.
let's lean. It's so fucking weird. These two birds keep coming on the balcony for the past 3 days. They will literally come and just sit there. And they come every morning. And I'm like, hi. But it's just
I
funny how
have like a really strong connection to birds, so that might be
really
something.
okay.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
literally they started, I don't know, I think it was this week they started coming. One of them
Oh
came
my
the first time by
gosh.
itself. And then the second day, no, the second day he came again by himself. And then the third day he came with a friend. And today he's back with his friend, assuming these are the same two birds.
Oh my God. That's
It's
so
so
crazy
funny.
for me to hear because I do feel like that's like another sign for me. Like this bird keeps coming to every time I'm in the morning, like it's
Hmm.
around. And it's not like a weird thing. I just look up the spiritual meaning of that bird because birds are
Yes.
so big for me, you know?
For me, I need to figure out the name of the bird. I took a picture, so I'll know, but I need to figure out the name of it. And then we can even see, because the fact that happened in our session is even interesting and how that's a sign for you. But
Yeah.
I know I
Yeah.
was feeling the same, like, okay, maybe that's a message for me too.
Have
But
you heard of the serpent feather god?
No, what?
He
What does
has
that come
another
from?
name. He has another name, but he like helped civilization like when it like form at one point.
Oh,
And
is it
he's
part of like Aztec or Mayans?
yes, yes.
Yeah, yes, I see
Yeah,
this.
I'm trying to learn more about it, but someone said that I'm connected to that energy. And so that serpent feather, like birds
And
and
you know
snakes, and
what?
that's why I got my snake.
I definitely see that because I feel like in every practice or ethnicity, there are always some types of overlaps. And when we're talking about the significance of that with you, that bird is I just read it that it's connected with the morning star, which is Venus energy, Venusian
My
energy, Venus
gosh.
placement. So I can definitely see that overlap without a doubt.
Can you say that again? Well, it's recorded, but I would like to
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
that
yeah.
again.
So it says what I'll actually copy and paste and send this to you
That's
what I'm
so
reading, but it
cool.
says the Aztec name for it is the Lord knows I can't say this. Quez
Yeah,
Quetzalcoatl,
that's his name.
known as
That's his
Plum
name.
Serpent. He was a creator god, inventor of books, patron of knowledge, arts, and crafts. He was associated with the morning star Venus and the wind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I can
That's
definitely see
just
that
like
without a doubt.
crazy. Oh my gosh. I see him in my bath. So like I know this kind of is gross, but like the dirt that comes up, it'll form
Hmm.
into a snake every time. With its like mouth, it
Mm,
always has its mouth open with its tongue like that. And for
wow.
the longest time in my meditation before that, I would get that. And I'm like, what is that? Is it a lizard? What the hell is that thing?
Yeah,
And finally
that's
someone told
interesting.
me.
And let's see if this even comes back up when you're like doing your. I definitely feel like for you, this morning period is going to activate something. I don't know what it is, even if it activates more, it just inner alignment. You're getting back in a new schedule, or you'll find that, you know what, I'll get up and do some creative energy work or some type of energy work or whatever work you feel called to do for an hour or two, and then I go back to sleep. But I do feel like,
Okay.
especially because if you're not really into the whole, oh, let me try to take melatonin or all these other things, I don't even want to bring that up.
I
It's more
try.
so, oh, you
I've
tried?
taken two melatonins. I know that's terrible, but I really have, and I nothing. I'm like, oh, my head
Mhm.
just hurts, and I'm still up. Like there, you're right. Like maybe it's an. I can think of it as an activation thing, like
Yeah,
awakening.
maybe we
Like
can just, yeah, maybe. And you know what? Let's just see what comes up and when we start to lean more into it and embrace it. Because if our bodies keep showing us something, okay, let me take a look at what this is. What is it that you want me to do? So let's see what this looks like over the. I keep hearing five. So let's see. I would say to throw out a number 3 to 5 or the next 5 to 7 times what that looks like. Do we feel better? Are we releasing blah, 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 blah during these morning periods and kind of go from there and just pay attention to is it now less painful when we wake up? Are we still as emotional? Like just paying attention to what this looks like and then adjusting the rest of your day accordingly. So if you need a nap, power nap, whatever that looks like, honor that. It is okay. And then
I will
also,
say the only thing that's problem with that, and it's something I need to just be okay with. I love coffee, and I know it doesn't wear off for 8 hours, so I just have to not have coffee in the morning. But then it's like, fuck, how do I get through my day? Like, honestly.
well, what we can do is, I mean, I would pay attention to let me see. Does she need to stop drinking coffee?
I say yes.
Yeah, I'm getting a yes. And you know what? It's
Ah!
interesting because I was the same way, but you know what? I literally just started this. I was like, you know what? Every month I do a fast, but now starting Taurus season, I'm going to do it by the zodiac season. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fast from this. And the first thing I fasted from at the start of the year was coffee. And I'm like, screw it. I'm just not going to drink coffee. And I was just the thing is it's more so about listening to your body and honoring it. It's less about how do I get through the day and where can I make time for if I do need a quick nap or do I need to make sure my kids are on a certain schedule to where they're asleep by this time so I could go to bed earlier. It's less about pushing and powering through because
Yeah,
that is what like that whole I'm gonna just make this up. Coffee culture is about going, going, going.
yeah,
I remember
yeah.
going to a cafe at like 11 or 12, and I overheard, Lord knows I can hear people's conversations. I overheard the people beside me, and the lady was talking about she was on her third cup, and it was already noon, and I'm like, oh my
Oh
God.
no.
Yeah. And some
That
people are
used
like,
to be
they,
me, totally,
yeah,
but I
some
stopped
people get
even
to a
that much.
point to where it's like, I needed to go, but then it's like
Yeah,
while that is not the worst thing ever because people are addicted to other things, it's more so
right.
about compounding of that. What other effects does that have on us? And a lot of times this can look like increased anxiety. This can look like crankiness or moodiness without it. And so it's more so about
Yeah.
training your body to know like I
I don't
didn't
need it.
always drink coffee. It was introduced to me, and ever since then, I loved it, but maybe I can limit it. And you can control or choose what you would like to do with this fast. Does this look like I'll wait for a certain period? Am I limiting the cups per day, per week? I don't want to
Yeah.
put cold turkey restrictions on anything we're working on or doing because the purpose of this framework and everything that we're building is more so about knowing your body's ebbs and flows and how it is more cyclical than it is
Yeah.
um exponential, like just go, 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 go. We keep growing and go, go. Sometimes it's like, you know what? We have a quick ebb and flow, and that's okay. So I'll let you use your emotional authority to decide, what does this look like? Does this look like I just want to go one day without it? Does this look like after a certain time I don't drink it, and before a certain time I don't? So you're limiting that window. And if you don't even get it
Yeah.
within that window, stop it. But just pay attention. I know when I first stopped drinking coffee, I did nap a bit more because I realized, wow, my body was actually tired, but that signal was off.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
going to just have its other repeats in regard to just different symptoms, or you might find that you sleep better without it, so just
Yeah.
let's give it a go in whatever way that you feel is best, even if we're just taking off the training wheels and easing into that. Or you're like, what, I'm not going to drink coffee, but I'll try a tea instead. Like, do
I think
whatever
just
you.
like having it on special occasions, like if, on Easter or something with my mom
Yeah.
or in the morning, but then the rest of the week don't, something like
Yeah,
that.
or even, at one point I was like, you know what? I used to go to this cafe every Friday and work there, and I would get a little latte or something. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna save it for Fridays only. But then I haven't even been wanting it. And
Oh,
so it's more so about
wow.
not even that. I'm just like, oh, I'm not doing it. It's like I don't really want it. So it's like, cool. It's
I'm
okay if
noticing
you
that a
want
lot
it.
with my THC. Like I used to I need to have that honestly every couple of hours, and it's like definitely God because I've released it with the moon so many times now, and also created it in the new moon, the intention of not wanting it, and it's just crazy. I'm like going the whole day without it. Usually I have a headache, or I literally will get symptoms. My hands will sweat. None of that. There was one
Yeah.
time I went to Ecuador. I wasn't drinking at that time. I was newly sober, but didn't have weed either. I had the worst time of my whole life. Like I sweat hands, like I swear
Oh,
to you,
okay.
it
Actual
was
symptoms.
like actual, yeah. No, no, it is funny though, because it's weed. Like, are
Okay.
you
No, I
kidding
thought you
me?
meant like
But
you just couldn't enjoy it, but I see what you're saying. Like you had some actual
yeah,
withdrawals.
it
Okay.
was so sad. Like my stomach, I couldn't eat,
Mm.
and yeah, like like, and then my hands would sweat, so it was just awful. But now I can
Well,
do
that's a
those
real
things.
thing. I definitely
So,
think that for you, I would say give it a couple of days, but I definitely feel like maybe let Easter be your like going into that break again. And then through that break,
yeah,
see how you are feeling because you might have an easier activation within that. It's like, oh, I really don't even have a. I mean, sometimes the taste is good. And then one thing that I can send you, there is this tea.
there's decaf coffee, right? Like, I mean, do that or
Look
no?
up if does decaf have caffeine?
I don't think it does. I think they
Let me
take it
look it
all
up.
out.
It does. It's just
It
smaller.
does?
Even if we do that, that's a good start.
Oh my gosh, I'm
No,
sad.
I'm gonna send you this. I don't know if they have it in St. Thomas, but I kid you not, this tea literally tastes like a
It's
cappuccino.
like that.
And
Okay, I like that.
when I stopped drinking coffee, I was like, oh, this is it. I'm good now because I had that taste.
Okay.
Oh,
It's the
let me
taste
send
for
you.
me too. More than, I mean, I would say more than the feeling of
Yeah.
coffee. It is. It's like I would love something sweet like that in the morning. And it goes with my blueprint is what we call it for our coaching nutrition. So
Yes.
I don't
So
want to
I
mess
just
that
sent
up,
you the
you
one
know?
that I actually had, but there's
Oh my
different
gosh.
brands that you can try that is like an organic blend of herbs
Yes,
that gives you
this
that
looks
vibe.
great.
Personally, I've had this and I recommended it, and somebody else told me they was like, I had this sitting in my pantry. I tried it and you're right. So let's
Wow.
get to even an alternative because I feel like sometimes when you realize
Okay.
it's just the taste and not the thing itself, it's like all I have to do is recreate the taste. And I
Yeah.
do that a lot with my eating. It's like if I know I like this thing and it's not the best for me, how can I recreate something or give a greater substitute? And so let's try that. It's not even just about like gung ho with it or whatever. But
Oh, I love it.
I wanted to just, check in and stuff, see how you were doing. I'm glad that, we're going to start working on that. Did you get a chance to look at the doc that I shared with you?
So it said that I had to get it approved. I didn't look back to see if it was
Okay.
approved.
No, you're good. Yeah, it should be approved. Let me know if you can open it. And
Okay. Do you
I
know
can
what it
also,
was, what you called it, so I can have it in my search bar?
yeah, it's called Alyssa's Intensive. And then I'll also share the link and put it in the chat as well. I
Oh,
just want
there
to
it
make
is.
sure you have
Sweet.
access. It's not even about you
Yeah,
reading it
no,
now.
definitely.
Um, because I thought when I shared it with you as someone
Oh,
who could
there we
view it,
go.
Good. Okay.
Yep.
I thought
I
you would
submitted
automatically
it.
get access, but we know Google is so secure.
I had to do it with my coaching too, and she didn't know. So I think it's just, yeah, it's kind of annoying. Like, gosh, unless like there are some intrusive people who are like, no, I want to edit it. I don't know.
Yeah, and you can change the permissions too. So, and you know
This
what?
looks
I gave
great.
you the option to view it. This is going to be for me to also keep track, but you can also make a copy if you want to edit it. At first, I was going to do a Google Drive, but I felt like it was just so much going on. I prefer just one main tracker where you can know this is what's going on for the next couple of weeks. And so you
Oh,
can
I
see
love
your
it.
progress in real time. You have one link to track all of your recorded sessions that I'll continue to update. And then also, this is going to be like a resource hub. As you see at this second page, I'm going to start to type more things out about what we've already discussed and include
Okay.
links so you can read further about it. So if we see generators are make up about 70% of the population, we tap on generators, we can read a whole bunch about it. So as the weeks progress, I'm going to start adding more information. Just know that it'll be a long read whenever you want to just learn more about it, dive more
Yeah.
into it, feel called to look at it. You can see not only what I'll type, but then also external resources about emotional authority, your strategy when we're talking about waiting to respond, the whole
Sweet.
nine.
Well,
Great.
the whole moon cycle, everything that you have about that, will that be on here as well, or is that separate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All of the everything that we discuss is going to be in this
Everything.
one
Oh,
doc. So it's
that's
just,
so lovely.
yeah, one
Then
stop
I won't
shop.
forget anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to, at
And I
first,
am
I was
such
going
a
to have
Virgo
it.
with that.
No, I was gonna have it. And it's funny you say that because one of my coaches is a Virgo and she has like this super organized Google Drive, week one, weeks, but our program is a bit longer. And it was nice. But then also I'm like for a 4 week program, I think one main, so you don't get overwhelmed with all these different
Yeah,
locations, it's like one main place to go for everything is gonna be ideal.
love it.
And then I'm gonna record a video today going over the moon cycle again. So you can have not only just our recording, but
That'll be
one
great.
where I might use as a generic blueprint for understanding that framework.
I will
Um,
say, knowing that I'm in the Ludo, is that what it's called? Ludo?
Ludio.
Ludio.
Yeah.
Um, I ate so much popcorn last night and I kind of just let myself indulge in it because I have been white knuckling and like not letting myself enjoy anything. So I let
Yeah.
myself do that knowing that I was in that phase and I think that works for me. Like knowing I'm in this phase to kind of indulge a little bit because I know I won't when I'm out of this, but I also was like I paid more attention to my body. I don't normally do that. And I was so full and I never want to feel like that again.
And you know what? It's also knowing too, like I feel like sometimes before when we're not really paying attention
No,
to these phases,
no,
it's
Charlie.
like, um, oh, I'm in a weird little phase. I don't know what's
Go.
going on with me versus when I'm actually seeing, oh, you know what? I'm actually just in my luteal and that is okay. Now, granted, I don't need to eat that much again because I don't like how I feel, but knowing that, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't enjoy this. And it's about, I don't know why I
Yeah.
just changed this font, but I'll fix
It
that.
was
I don't know
like
how I
good for
just
me instead of like just resisting it, like, okay, go ahead, have it. And then like
that
it was really good to
that's what
notice.
it's about. It's about knowing in this moment, this is what I want. And more so about now moving forward, if I do get in a snack phase, okay, last time I ate too much, so now blah, 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 blah. And we'll find that
Right.
like in the beginning, it looks like these super micro adjustments, but then we look 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, it's like, wow, I used to struggle with this. Now that's not even a part of who I am. It's not even on my grocery list. It's not even a habit that comes to my head. And that's what this is all about. You look up and
Yeah.
it's like, I'm a completely changed individual. And sometimes it's not even about changing or rebranding. It's more so about coming back home to you.
So
Before
true.
we were conditioned to do these things, before we were told this will help with this and do this because this is what most people do. It's like, no, coming home to myself looks like blah. So that is a beautiful thing. I wanted to just show you this doc and then I put together because I know you have, I want to double check. So for your CrossFit, I know you said the CrossFit is at 11:30. What time do you need to leave to get there in time enough to do what you need to do?
So I know that we wanted to go over a little bit, so 9:30, 10:30. I think I can leave here at like 11:15.
Okay. So we
Even
can go
like
to
11 would be good, but I just thought you would probably want to end at like 11. But if you want to go over a little bit, that's fine too. It
But
takes me 10
it's up
minutes to
to
get
it's
there.
whatever. But if you want to leave at 11, we can wrap up at like 10:45ish or whatever. I just wanted to make sure you had enough time and everything. And we can always I was gonna say maybe going into next week and the week after that we can talk about that third session. I know the last week I have a for sure third session stamped with the group that we can be a part of. So next week we can talk about what would that look like for you as far as
Okay.
availability and dates. That way you're not, late or anything. So we're
I'm
gonna
good with wrapping up today at 11. Like if we just end at 11, that'll be like I'm already ready and everything, got myself ready. So see, like
perfect.
having that morning routine helped me a lot. And so I
Yes,
can
that's
get up and
perfect.
go.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I put together a bit more information about your chart so we can really start to just continue to uncover you, your natural tendencies, and what your soul is calling you to do. Um, so let's get into it. This is just some of your human design information, how we talked about that 5-1. Today, I'm going to be talking about different gates in human design. And to go back really quickly to the graph, or the body graph is what it's called. These gates are like these numbers that you might see are colored and activated. So I'm going to go over some of the super relevant. Oh, let's go to this one. It's a lot better. I'm going to go over some of the main ones that are like activated in your chart. So it's 4037 is a channel, and then 35-5, and what these different things mean. And it's interesting because I feel like through looking at your chart, there's almost like an ideology of the best of both worlds, seeing like how one part of you might be really drawn to isolation, but then the other part of you is, someone who can thrive in community. And it's like sometimes I feel pulled in different directions. How do I even show up? How do I know what's more aligned for me? And again, it goes back to knowing that emotional authority. So let's just get into it and we'll talk about it as it goes through. So first things first, I know you were asking me about this, I believe the first or second session. I wanted to put like a more of a detailed write-up in this slide deck. And then also I'm going to include this more of a detailed write-up in your tracker. So what we'll call it, the Word doc. It's going to be when you are needing 3 separate bridges to come to a conclusion. So this does look like you being someone who is more vocal with talking about something. I feel like when you are wanting to make decisions on your own solely in your head, or when I think when we're talking about the practice of, oh, go within and follow your intuition, sometimes it's like, I actually feel a bit more anxious when I go within, or sometimes I'm overthinking
Yeah.
sometimes, whatever that looks like. Typically, you're someone who I would say if you do that, don't let that be your end all be all.
Okay.
So
That's good
what do
to
I
know.
mean by that? I would use that as one metric because again, these 3 bridges means that you need 3 separate clusters to feel whole and grounded in a decision versus like, oh, I'm making this, but I'm still not sure. And
Wow.
so again, everything in human design can show us more ways to regulate safety in the body. And
Okay.
ideally, that's best for women because when we're safe and we're grounded, everything's good. Life feel good. But when we're uneasy, we're like, hey, what's going on? That can sometimes push us into more tension, more resistance, pushing us away from alignment. Or if we go through what is maybe an aligned path or an aligned decision, but we're still feeling tense on the inside, sometimes we're not able to fully indulge in that experience and what that looks like. So I wanted to go over what some of this can look like for you in your chart. So let's go through one bridge. We'll call it A, sacral and your solar. This is going to be mixed up with you being a generator and having that sacral response, but also knowing you're a, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, my picture froze for a second. I was just double
Oh,
checking. If you can hear me, we're good. Knowing that generators are naturally wired to follow their sacral, but you're an emotional generator. So not only do you trust your sacral, but you allow yourself time to process and decide, you know what? Let me just go through the energetic highs and lows. And when I'm in a neutral point, let's move forward. So this looks like you having that life force to follow your excitement, but also honoring how you feel. So when I see someone with emotional authority, I tell them anywhere between 70 to 80% of your decisions, I don't recommend making them in the moment. And I say that because sometimes life will say, take it or leave it. And it is what it is. But if you can tell someone, hey, I'll get back to you. Or sometimes this can look like pondering on a thought and then so let me give an example of a generator and their strategy of waiting to respond. Let's say you are following a CrossFit gym's Instagram page and you're like, you know what? I really want to work for this gym, but when I talked to someone, they told me they weren't hiring. And you just wait. And let's say you're just following the gym page, liking their content, going to their events, whatever, engaging with them, and you're still just allowing your emotions to just go through what this experience looks like with this gym. And then next thing you know, they post, hey, we're hiring for blah, blah, blah. And then that excitement is like, oh, this is my opportunity to respond. I wanted to give that example because you may have made that decision in that moment, but you've been in alignment with your emotional authority, which is kind of sitting with the energy. So I wanted to clarify that because I feel like some
Cool.
people, when they're hearing their emotional authority or they're supposed to wait to respond, they think they just sit on their hands and do nothing. But sometimes it looks like just sitting with the energy of that thing. And then when an opportunity presents itself, it's like, boom, there we go. Because sometimes, like I said before, the reality is you may not always get a chance to wait, or we know how when it's we're talking about job offers or what that looks like. It's like, you know what, I want to get, be the first impression, be the best possible position to hear more about this opportunity. So that's an example of
I have
using
a
both.
question.
Yeah.
With this type of one too, if you're like, do we just get really excited about opportunities and that's why we need to sit? Because sometimes it's like, wait, I was really excited and then I'm not, or is that initial excitement intuition? That's what I'm struggling with. Like, oh,
So
I'm excited. Maybe this is what I should be doing, you know?
So I would say use your discernment and see how your body communicates with you. And I want to preface this with the fact that when I am working with someone to help them develop their intuitive gifts and or knowing their body's nudges, there's a level of like, you know what, I'm gonna have to experiment a bit to see if my left ear is ringing, what's the difference between my right ear? Do you know how your body's communicating to you? Now, when we're talking about by the book, what this means for a generator, you're always wired to follow your excitement, but I would say just pay attention to the commitment that comes with it. Um, and I would just play around with what that looks like. Typically, through generators naturally following their excitement or curiosity, they're open to
Okay.
experiences, opportunities, or relationships that can teach them whatever thing. We're going to lean more into emotional authority typically when we're talking about commitments that we might question. So if
Okay.
this looks like and again, use your discernment with this. If this looks like, you know what, hey, this is this program, but I'm wondering, should I pay this price right now? That's when we
Okay.
lean more into emotional authority. I like this person, and they want me to go on a trip a week after meeting them. Let me lean into emotional authority. Let's give another example. It's just more so of those cases where you're like, hmm, let me think about
Yeah.
that. When you have more of a hesitance, I would really lean more into emotional authority and also just train yourself to sit in the idea of that thing moving forward. And so it's like, now, granted, there are going to be some things that our emotional authority may not align with, but it's like, for the sake of community, I'll help out. So it's like, dang, do I really want to take them to the airport? Maybe not, but you know what? It is what it is. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's also one of those things where, like, really look into the situation, like, okay, what is the time commitment for this thing?
Yeah.
So if there is um, I don't know, just anything, just breathe into that.
Well, you
And
nailed
then,
it. I actually got a job opportunity at this CrossFit gym. They weren't hiring before. And
oh
I'm like,
my
I want to work
God.
here. I want to work here. I want to work here. I want to work here. And then she literally gave me a job offer. I didn't like pursue it. I just waited to see her. And because I also there was that like that initial I was excited, but also is this aligned because I want to go to the CrossFit Games? It takes up my time. And so when she offered it to me, I this is where I will work on it. I was like, "Yes, I would love to." And then I thought about it later. No, no. I don't actually. Like it was a
Yeah.
cool opportunity, but I really want to go to the CrossFit Games and that would just take up way too much of my time.
Yeah. And even, did you tell her that already? Or are you going to tell her?
Yeah, I did. I feel so
Okay.
bad
Yeah. Yeah.
for her. She needs help so bad.
No, and again, as that five line, when we know we can help and we know we can problem solve, we have to ask ourselves, yeah, I can do this, but deep down, because your desired motivation, do I desire to do it deep down? Or do I really feel
Yeah.
like it's aligned?
Yeah.
Will this help
Right.
with the vision right now, or will it hinder it more than it will help? Asking yourself these questions as emotional authority is going to help you narrow down your decision process and or talking to other people. Which brings
Oh,
me.
that's good to know because I really feel like I'm being codependent when I do that.
Oh, no, no, no. So I'm actually going to get into that. But before I move on, I want to reiterate on this first part, sacral and solar energy. Again, we just broke both of those down. So overall, this is going to be a mix of what we just said, waiting to respond with your strategy, using your emotional authority, and then your signature state. All that means is following your satisfaction. And so this is when you can also have another layer of clarity because it's like, yeah, I'm excited, but will this truly satisfy me?
Mm,
That will help you ground more into your decision because excitement will come and go, but deep down, am I truly satisfied? That
Yeah.
satisfaction as a generator is really your end all be all. Does this satisfy me more than it frustrates me? That shows me where adjustments need to be made, or maybe I'm just completely off and I don't need to be involved with this thing or person. Now, this second split that's going to help you define what you need to be doing, throat and ajna center. This is your expression and mental processing, how you communicate things, how you draw concepts or bring that inner knowing into some type of conversation is a huge thing for you. Like I
Wow.
don't, if you feel like okay, maybe I feel like the only way it is codependent is if we are looking for other people's validation rather
Okay.
than just knowing, hey, I just need to talk some things out to bounce off some ideas, or am I doing this because they told me to do it? And you can also, again, I feel like with the emotional authority, it's sometimes just a process of riding the wave and waiting till you're in a neutral point to like, you know what? I deeply feel this thing, so I'm going to lean more into it. So, um, there was this training that I heard about a couple of months ago, and I heard about it and I was new to the facility. So I'm like, oh heck no, I'm not doing that. I was like too shy or whatever. I was just like, no, I'll just wait to see if they bring it up again. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, maybe they'll bring it up next week. And I didn't hear about this thing for months. I swear to God. Like I didn't hear about it for
Oh,
months. I'm like, oh dang, whatever. It is what it is. And then today they brought it up and I'm like, oh freak. And then the guy
I
was like,
love
oh, well, if
it.
you're thinking about it, just do it. He was saying this on the intercom to everybody. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, cool. And so me having emotional authority, when I initially heard about this thing a couple of months ago, it sounded potentially like really exciting, but I'm like, I'll just wait. I have a lot going on right now. I don't want to just throw myself into something. And then I allowed that wave to happen. Honestly, detached from it, forgot about it, but it was always coming up in little minor ways. And then today another opportunity presented itself. So I'm like, boom, okay, cool. So I would pay attention to if that happens with you with certain decisions, and or you are just using your voice. If you feel like again your conversations start to feel a bit codependent or on a subconscious level or even conscious level, we are looking for validation through conversations. Talk to yourself.
So does everybody have all of these, or this one's literally personal to me? This is my thing. Okay.
Other people can have this, but this is not
Yeah.
a everybody has this thing. And for the
This
sake
what's
of
interesting is my thyroid, and like that is huge for the throat chakra blocked. And I feel like I don't speak up with this friend that I had, right? She was my only friend in Wisconsin for 5 years. I didn't really branch out. She's very possessive, but I really felt good with her.
yeah,
And so I never, anytime, like there would be ideas like that I would want to say in the gym and I'd be shut down or criticized or any of that. So I broke free from that. So I'm hoping
that's
that the
amazing.
thyroid helps, like calms down because I finally am finding more friendships aligned. I'm hoping. So it's just my
And
hope.
you
So
know
seeing this
what?
is
To
interesting.
percentage of, I want to write this down because I want to include the breakdown of how many people. So in human design, like to go back to a generator, that makes up about 70% of the population. 50% of the population is emotional authority, but I want to know, because I don't know off the top of my head, what percentage has this definition and makeup. Because there are different aspects of human design that could make up 1% or 8%. And the reality is, when you possess that in your chart, this will let you know most people won't understand where I'm coming from or why I do this thing. And it'll help you ground into knowing like it is what it is. It's cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna make sure I include that in your write-up to know. And so going back to what you said with the friend, I want to touch back on something. Going back to your signature state and pulling up your chart, we know as a generator, your signature state is going to be satisfaction. Your not self theme, which what we can call the opposite, is going to be frustration. So if you find every time I'm talking to this person, every time I'm doing this thing, or every time I'm in this
Right.
environment, in this place, it's making me feel frustrated, I am going to lean back a bit or say, hey, this is how I feel. Sometimes a conversation can fix some things. Other times it's like, okay, I expressed that you still don't care. I'm gonna just not do it anymore. So do whatever you feel called to do, either or. But knowing that if something, again, this is like, I say it so much because we have to really beat it into our heads. If something is frustrating us more than it's satisfying us as a generator, it's like, no, it has to
Like
change.
what
It is
my
what
whole
it is.
book's about. So stay tuned for that. So
Oh,
hopefully too,
really?
I might want to include some of this in my book. I will obviously give you credit for that, but I just want to make
Oh
sure
yeah,
that's okay
I
if I
can't wait
do.
to see that. That's gonna be
Yeah.
amazing. But literally, like, and the reality is, some people find out this information in their 50s and they're like, I've been living my whole life ignoring some
Yeah.
of these, feelings in my body, thinking I was being too dramatic, thinking I was being too much. And it's like, no. So
Dramatic.
you are in a great period to course correct. Um,
Thank you.
Yeah. And so now this third bridge with this triple split definition, pressure or inspiration. Ask yourself certain questions that help you realize, am I doing this because I kind of feel pressured? Because again, as a five line, people are always projecting onto you what they want you to do, whether they know you actually can or they know
Oh
you
man.
might be able to figure whatever this looks like. And so it's more so about, am I doing this because I really feel inspired to do it and I'm excited to do it and I'm curious on what this could come, or do I feel pressured by this person? And the reality is, even if you can do it, that doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't matter who it is either. But we also have to know, just transparently speaking, the double-edged sword that comes with that. We also don't want to, I don't want to say we don't want to, because if you are someone who lives more of that being a bit more selfish, then this will look like maybe not that much community. And that is okay. You know, it's more so about what do you truly feel fulfilled with and how do you have that balance in what you're doing. Um, so a few more things I want to touch on when we're talking about this triple split definition. The right people is critical. You know, we don't want to go around talking to just anybody. It's talking about when you connect with the right people who really make you feel whole, those who
Yeah.
correct you will energize you rather than drain you. It is up to you to learn the difference when your body is showing you satisfaction versus frustration, feeling
Yeah.
energetic and you know, fulfilled after a conversation versus feeling drained or misaligned. And then also you have cave environment. This talks about knowing that this right internal coherence that sometimes is like you kind of being in your own space, which could really help you with your decision making as well. And then overall, planetary movement can activate or open up different things within your chart. So observe how different transits affect you as well. Now, these gates is what I was talking about when I feel like it's like a push and pull to different
10
angles.
10 with you again. 10 10.
Ah,
Every time with
literally.
you. Oh
Did a
my
notification just
gosh.
go off?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And then it made me look at my phone. So funny.
LOL, that's so funny.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it. Because 10 10 means I did good this morning. Like I
ah,
just
you
did
said that. I
well.
remember you were talking about you have a good relationship with 1010 for the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Love that. Yes, let's acknowledge
Excited.
that. And so within these four gates is where I feel like it was like true duality. It says the two polarities held in constant dialogue. This is like the architecture of your life force. And so you have this gate 40 and 37, and then you also have this gate 35 and 5. So 40 is a gate that talks about aloneness, but it also talks about through your aloneness, you activate willpower or deliverance. And so for you, the energy of work is what this gate can talk about, having this huge willpower, but it can move into resistment if you don't honor your, it can move into resentment or resistance if you don't honor your
Okay.
rest. So again,
What
when
does
we talk
that
about,
look like? Because I'm dealing so much with resisting everything that I've worked so hard for, and I don't get it. So I'll let you
so
talk.
giving an
Like,
example,
why?
it's more so about tuning in to asking yourself, do I feel rested? A generator must recharge. A generator is like a phone. So the thing is, you're naturally going to feel called to exhaust your energy because you may feel that way because generators are wired to like go, 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 go. And then when the phone dies, you shut down and fully recharge. But when you're recharging and resting, you're doing that. It's not, oh, let me try it. No. And so for you,
Okay.
you can find that this resistance may come from if you're feeling like, am I really rested? Do I feel rested right now? Did I
Yeah.
get sleep? Because if you don't, then you're like, oh, I don't even feel like, I remember we talked about it the other day when you were talking about, oh, I don't even know if I want to go to CrossFit. I'm not feeling it. And it boiled down to, you know, I didn't really sleep well. And then the routine was off and then the whole nine. And so as a generator, because you are like, think about a generator. It is a powerhouse, like an actual physical generator. And so when we're talking about if that's describing your natural energy cycle, then this is going to look like knowing when I'm resting, I'm resting, and that's just what it is. And so for you to really honor that
Okay.
willpower and deliver what your gift, purpose, whatever artwork, projects, the whole nine, this is going to look like truly honoring that rest. Um,
Got that. Yeah.
and a shadow aspect of this is like you just talked about, still going without the rest, giving from an empty power source. And it's more so about if we realize we're doing it, hey, you know what? Let me put everything down and stop. Or if you're somewhere, you're like, hey, you know what? I didn't even realize I got to go early. Even if you make up a fake excuse with who, you know, like I got to tend to whatever, you sometimes it's more so about in the moment, let me just stop versus, you know what? I already said yes. You know, use your discernment. Obviously, I'm going to always say that. But more times than not, you're going to really want to tune into that. Um, and then again, it's funny how gates 40 and 37 can be a bit opposite because gate 37 is about friendship, having that tribe, having that warmth from community, the energy of chosen family and deep communal bonds. This gate talks about making bargains, agreements of care and reciprocity. It's a warmth that draws people in. And so it's more so about, again, knowing that you may naturally lean into this energy. How can I better balance this out? And it goes back to your rest levels, and your frustration will show you, okay, you know what? Let me take a bit of a break, or maybe this friendship is not really aligned. So I just honor that. Um, Gate 35 and gate 5. 35 talks about change, experience, progress, emotional wisdom. For you, you could be drawn to just do so many different things, even if it's in one sector of life. So this can look like traveling a lot, doing so many different jobs, or just going through so many different phases of you as a woman, as a person. And this looks like an accumulation of wisdom. So you could be the type of person who's lived many lives, but it's like deep down, your soul just wanted to gain more wisdom. And it goes back to who you are with a 5-1, you naturally wanting to learn, to investigate, to research, and all of these different random things goes into your toolbox to help you eventually problem solve overall.
So
And you
funny.
do that through experience. Now, you want to, a shadow aspect of this gate is making sure you're not going after certain things to escape, escapism. We're changing.
Yeah.
I'm going through a breakup, and instead of me doing the energy work, I dye my hair. It's like making sure, is this change something my soul is calling, or is it just like vain? And it's nothing wrong with just doing something on the surface, but it's like you want to make sure you're not doing it in the name of avoidance. That's all that is with that gate. And then next, fixed rhythms. This talks about just knowing natural timing with you, develop patience, and through that, you'll find the habits that align best with you. So, this is talking about the keeper of natural cycles. And you may feel like, oh, that's interesting because I don't feel like the timing is right for me right now. But this holds an energy of right timing. This talks about things are going to unfold in their own season. No matter what you feel like you can force or do or activate or control, things will unfold in the natural timing.
Oh my
Fourth,
gosh. So not everybody has that fixed rhythm because that's what I'm dealing with right now with CrossFit is it's like nature is telling me to just like you're not going to work out every day right now for like a
so
month or two. That's what's and it's like I'm pissed. I'm mad about it. Like really it's like I'm just so upset. I feel like
and it
everything I
reminds
worked for is just
me,
out the window.
what you're saying is reminding me, and I'm going to make this reference because I know you know tarot, Four of Cups. It's like,
Okay.
I want it to be this way, but a lot of
Yeah.
times when we're having this fixed vision, we're overlooking or we can't see what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Try to take that approach. Even when we talked about with the sleep schedule, it's like, you know what? My body won't sleep. Why not? It's like, you know what? Let me just see what my body wants from me right now. Maybe let me meditate. Let me make a tea. Let me read until I fall back asleep. Your body's waking you up. Let's not get mad and say it's supposed to do
And
this.
I'm like
While
telling
we're
myself,
still-
how the hell are you going to the CrossFit games then? You know what I mean? Like I know
Yeah.
I need to just chill out on it. I'm just telling you, this is like me venting. Like I am
Yeah.
just, this is so hard for me. Like to just like, what? I'm like, I don't understand God and I don't know where the trust is. I'm paying somebody so much money to coach me. Most of the time I can't go to them. Like why did I change from leaving my gym, you know what I mean, to now doing this with this girl, but now not even being able fully to do it. I feel like I've been delayed. Thank you. Like I could cry. Like I'm just,
No,
what the
no,
hell?
it's okay. Yeah, no, that's a real thing. And I definitely feel like, and it's funny how when we're talking about natural timing, sometimes the most important thing within that is like we see patience.
Yeah.
Um, and this will look like starting to rewire those thoughts. So if I feel like, wow, this isn't even working, it moving forward, really make it a conscious habit. And even if you go on for 5 minutes of like conscious a whole bunch of thoughts that don't really push you toward your goal, start to reroute
Yeah.
those thoughts.
Okay.
There is a thing called thought delay where things won't always immediately manifest as soon as you think them, and it's like a universal law that is supposed to protect us, because if we had everything manifest that we thought, woo, that would sometimes be a life of what can look like chaos for
So
some.
true.
And so for you, it's knowing that your body is giving you the grace to start to shift and rewire, because it goes back to that be do have. It is less about what we need to do and more about who we are being. And if we are being a person that is a bit hard on ourselves in this moment, let's go ahead and shift that. And it's like, you know what? I don't really know what the hell is going on right now. And it's frustrating, but I know I'm going to get through this because I'm just on a natural timing and I'm trusting
Yeah.
that. I listen to what my body is telling me. It is so easy how things are working out for me. It does not matter if it's not, just tell yourself that. Continue to tell yourself these things, even if you have to listen to it on fucking auto replay from a
Yeah.
YouTube video or you record yourself and download an app that replays these things back to you. But it goes more. And you know what? I want to play this video. I was just looking at this before we got on. Please tell me it's on his page. What is it? Yep. It says talks about putting effort into doing something that your programming won't allow you to do. And so it's going to be a lot harder. Basically, you won't be able to behave in a way that's inconsistent with your programming. And so we're talking about going back to the sleep because that was the initial conversation today. Um, I know on a subconscious level, I know I have insomnia, but I'm trying to still get sleep. Your behavior is not going to align with that because there's a knowing of insomnia. So instead of saying to myself, I have insomnia, I know this, we're going to say, I'm fixing my sleep schedule. I'm adjusting my sleep schedule. And then when we have these periods of waking up, we meditate, we do energy work, we just do
Yeah.
something and see if our body ends up going back to sleep. And just tell yourself, I'm adjusting my sleep schedule. That's all it is. I'm adjusting my sleep schedule. My sleep schedule is actually working itself out to where I have so much energy now. I'm actually really grateful for that. Start to tell yourself these things, even if in the present moment it feels like a lie. And I said feels like because truth is subjective. She has a truth, he has a truth, I have a truth. But what is a fact? The fact is that the world is moved by the unseen. And when we know that, we have to make sure I am not giving too much attention to the seen, to the tangible, easier said than done sometimes. And we get that. But it's about reminding ourselves that. And the
Yeah.
reality is sometimes we have to remind our mind something our soul already knows. And it's more so about training your mind to do that. And you'll find that the soul just it is pulled to it, it's drawn to it, even if it doesn't intellectually make sense or you don't have the tangible proof. It's more so about if I'm talking about deconditioning, reprogramming, and rewiring, it's a
Yeah.
conscious effort and giving yourself grace that within 7 to 14 days of even when we're talking about deeper subconscious integration, trying to undo things that have been a reality for how many years. It's about knowing, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm now really starting to see and knowing when we're talking about the integration phase, trying to force it in a certain time, giving yourself grace on that,
Yeah.
the whole process, because that's what it is, a process. It's more so about sometimes progress looks like having a better outlook on a situation, even with the same result. That's progress within itself.
You know,
Sometimes
it's
progress,
it's so nice to hear that because and I think that a lot of like my reason to get so upset is like I think people aren't going to believe me or they think that I'm just effing around, not really doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and
yeah.
it's because those friendships did think that of me before. And so now I'm
Mm,
in new relationships like with you and my coach now is so chill, like just like whatever, and we'll rearrange your schedule to where if you know what I mean. I don't even have to get into it, but it's like
yeah.
I don't feel this sense of judgment, but I'm still trying to catch up to that. Like I'm with my old coach, it was so like he didn't believe me if I was sick. It's like one time I
Mm,
went to, CrossFit and I'll make this not so long-winded, but I was like really sick, but he didn't feel that. And he's like, "You're not sick," like telling me. So it's I think that's a big thing for me too. Is like, okay, if other people can like not expect so much of me, then I think I can like I'm gonna cry. Like that's it. That's it for me. Like it's
yeah.
more of like caring about like what does my coach think? Like, does she think I'm not gonna go to the games now that I'm not disciplined enough? It's that. Like maybe they
Yeah.
they won't believe in me.
And it all goes back to that conditioning. And it reminds me of I saw someone record a video. They were getting I don't remember if the dog was at a shelter or it was adopted, but it's like the dog was programmed to only experience abuse when he saw a human. So when he saw a human come into care, he's rejecting it, he's pushing it away, he's fighting against it because it's like, I'm not used to this. And it took him some time to get used to his new owners now truly loving and caring for him. And now I'm not saying obviously you were used to that extreme, but it's more so about knowing if I'm used to this one reality, the new one that's integrating may be met with some resistance until I fully actualize this new thing because the older version of me wasn't used to it. And a lot of the time when we're talking about bringing in that new timeline, I'm trying to choose my words wisely because I don't want to sound counterintuitive, but I feel like you picking up what I'm putting down. It's more so about knowing it is now. And when it is now, it's like, what does that look like? How do I talk? You know, a lot of my videos I'm talking about how do you talk? How do you walk? How do you dress? Who are your relationships? And it is talking about the now. How do I talk about myself in this new timeline? And does that match with now? If it doesn't, let me just switch it up. Let me change. It's no big deal. I don't have to say, oh, I don't care enough or I don't want it bad enough. Or, you know, it's like more so about now. And then also when we're talking about the thinking of what are they thinking, think about instead of what are they thinking, what could I be using my life force to think about and create in this moment? So if you ever find yourself wondering or overthinking about something and or feeling judged or judging, it's like, you know what could I be using my essence for in this moment? It is about, again, when we're talking about raising the default, what can I shift this next habit to be? An old habit look like this, spiraling thinking, blah, blah, blah. What am I shifting to now? So, like,
Yeah.
to give an example, when I used to get really angered, I would just go to sleep. And granted, that's healthy because at one point I would abuse pills to sleep. So it's like, boom, that was the next step up. I'm now sleeping. But then I realized I'm like, all right, Kayla, you can't just keep sleeping the day away because you're mad. So then I started to go on walks. And it is not about just being right or being the most productive. It is about what is our new default? What is the default that we are raising from where I would abuse pain pills to now, you know what? I'm just gonna naturally sleep on my own. To now, you know, I'm not even gonna sleep. I might just go on a walk. And then I'll come back from my walk feeling energized and being able to reset. And sometimes just about my default now is way better than it's been. And that's all that matters. Whether we're talking about rest, whether we're talking about coffee, whether we're talking about self-talk or our natural thought process, what is my new default? And then practicing that new default to where it's a habit. And then eventually, again, life is a constant cycle. So it's more so about, okay, eventually I realized, oh, this new default, it's not working anymore. New one. Same process, ebb and flow. It's like you're playing a video game and it's always a new level. It's always something more challenging. It's always something harder, but it's
Yeah.
always something better. And it's about honoring that process and what that looks like for you. And sometimes when we're talking about honoring our individual process and not comparing or judging or beating up on ourselves, this may look like a detox from certain things or certain people or certain environments. And it's like asking yourself, what do you need from me? Look in the mirror and start to ask yourself that. What do you need from me today? What do you need from me in this moment to connect deeper within yourself?
So good. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Feel like I started giving a speech.
No, it
Let
was
me get
great
back.
though. Like I love it. It's great. It's so
Let me
good.
get back into it. Um,
Sounds like your TikToks, and that's why I was so inspired by
ah,
you in the first place. So,
yeah, that's a real thing. Um, Definitely. I have to tell myself, like, Kayla, the video needs to be 3 minutes. So let's get
well,
back
they're
into
so
it.
specific. I think that's what's so great about your TikToks.
Yeah,
Not everybody's
yeah. Thank
specific
you.
like that, and I need that.
No, that's real. So in human design, there's a thing called left angle cross of migration. I would compare this to your nodal placements in your birth chart. This is something that is heavily equipped with resonance within your mission and purpose in life. And so for you, this talks about transpersonal karma or your purpose unfolding through encounter, not in isolation. And so again, I feel like within the spiritual community, let me go on the full screen. Within the spiritual community, there's often this talk about like, you know, sometimes we got to cut the world off and lock in, or not spiritual community, but like mainstream media. It's like sometimes you got to cut everybody off and lock in. But when we're thinking about the mere term shadow work, I can never 100% see my shadow if I'm outside in the sun because if I'm turning, there's something I'm not seeing over here. And that's why we need encounters within community to help us with different realizations. So when we're talking about things that you are really here to be open to, know that your purpose is not meant to be lived privately or you just completely isolate and do things on your own. You'll find different encounters, whether this is through clients or relationships or just random phases in life. That's a part of the pattern of your becoming. That's a part of the pattern of your activation, your actualization, timeline jumping. You'll rarely find that because, again, we talked about previously how you're really open to that communal energy, but it's more about knowing in this phase, in this day, in this moment, do I need a bit more isolation than I normally would have? Migration, you are here
Okay.
to move. We talked previously how
Totally go. Go. You're not to get your tablet yet. No. Don't come back in here. You won't get it.
because it's so funny.
My goodness. Their tablets. Oh. But I feel like I can't take them away completely because
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
such
I mean,
a
it's the age
technology
of
person.
technology. Who knows? She might end
Ah,
up being a software engineer.
right. So true.
Okay. You're here to move, literally and metaphorically. So we
Yeah.
talked about previously how you're really open to change, and through that you'll find more emotional depth, wisdom, or progress. But this talks about you just carrying wisdom from different phases of life. Each migration you'll find building on the last. And then this line two energy is about just this natural energy of being a genius that you embody, whether this is something more
Oh,
niche or just overall having overall having.
I always thought I was dumb growing up, which is so
Oh
stupid.
no, no, no,
It's
no.
so
You are
dumb.
someone, and a lot of the times we'll find that if we are not super smart in these specific aspects or subjects, we're like, oh dang, I don't know much. And it's like that just may not be your lane of expertise. There's
Yeah.
someone who might be able to tell you everything about the nail bed and the vitamins to take to help strengthen your biotin and all these other things, but like they're not going to sit here and try to host a computer class, whatever that looks like, and that's okay. And so for you, you're going to find that again, because you are not meant to be so isolated and behind the scenes, you will get called out. This doesn't have to be a bad thing, but sometimes other people have to activate things within you. So, like I told you before at the beginning when we first met, I feel like eventually you might get into a position to where you're a coach, a guide, a teacher. I just see that in your chart, honestly. And it's just like you may not fully see that within yourself, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. But knowing that when you get called out to maybe put in a leadership position or do these things, it's a part of your purpose. Don't shy away from it. Even if we have to lean into emotional authority to revisit, you will find that it always calls to you and you can no longer ignore it. And so for you, when we're talking about just more so gathering this, integrating it, and transmitting it, you'll find that as you're moving through these different things, collect, document, take note. Again, that one line wants to investigate, research, and learn, collect experiences, connections with people, learn different perspectives. You're going to find that you're just naturally drawn to continue to do that. Honor
So
it.
are
Don't
there
shy away
people?
from it.
Oh, sorry. I didn't want to interrupt.
What did you
I
say?
interrupted. I just there's people that don't have this that like are fully aware of their gifts because that's so me. Like I'm just like everyone can do what I do. So sorry. I just that
No, you know, you're
sometimes what you're
fine. That's
saying,
a
I'm
real
just like,
thing.
whoa.
And I said this before too. I don't know if you saw that read. I've said it before. I don't know how many times, but I was talking about when you have a gift, sometimes you don't realize it's a gift because it comes so natural, but then everybody can't do that.
Right.
That's just what it is. And you think because it's so easy, anybody can do it, it's easy to learn. It's like, no, sometimes you are going to be positioned as the expert, the authority to do said thing. And again, you'll find that even if you don't
Wow.
naturally lead into this, you'll have other people come into your life or experiences that really draw you to do that. And just be open to it. Okay. If as long as it's aligned with your excitement, curiosity, and satisfaction.
A lot of my
Now,
resistant with my book is like everyone can do this and who the hell am I to do it? So
yeah,
that's just
so many
interesting.
people don't have a book.
Right.
So
Like
many people have not been able to really write more than 3 pages, especially, no, I know personally two people who have written a book, and one of them did it when they were like a children's book. They did it when they were younger. So if we take away what she did when she was a kid, when she wrote a children's book, I know one person who wrote a book. And even if we're just talking about from like, I went to college, I've had these jobs, I know, oh wait, I bought, and I didn't know them personally, but I bought an astrologer's book online. But outside of that, I can count on one hand, one finger, how many people I personally know who wrote a book. So it's like, no, it doesn't matter. And the reality is, too, I know some people like to play
to
that
make me cry.
saturation game. Yeah, I know some people like to play that saturation game. And it's like, go to the bread aisle. There's so many different types of bread. I tried a new type of bread the other day and I'm like, where the fuck has this been? And it's like, there's something for everyone, even if it's looking the same. There's something for everyone.
Right.
There are people waiting for you to write that book. Now, this does not mean rush your process, but know that there's going to be a receiving audience knowing that like you deem really fit to do that. You really want to do that on a soul level. So just know that there are people, ready to receive that book. Um, and
I love it.
sometimes this looks like when you're integrating, slowing down, and this can go back to that patience because you go through a cycle of gathering, gathering, learning, learning, doing, doing, and then it's like integrating. And so for you right now, let's bring up
Wow.
CrossFit. You could be integrating more of the techniques and stuff, but when you were at the gym, there was a lot of doing, gathering, having these different experiences. And you might be in this phase. This cannot be rushed without cost. I like when things are worded like this specifically because the reality is you have free will. But when I give you guys these frameworks and these insights on your chart, it's to know this is more than likely something to implement if you'd like to see less resistance. So knowing this is, I might be in a phase where it just can't be rushed, and that's okay. I am where I am, and that's okay.
I love it.
And honoring that. But you'll know when it's time to really activate into this new territory because that 5-1 you naturally possess is going to push you to being like, hey, I have a solution. I do this, and just to show up fully whenever that is. And so, even when I think about me as a 5-1 in my journey of doing readings, I never, first off, wanted to do it, but I was gifted a deck. But even within the deck, it was less about posting content. It was just like things that just naturally unfolded. And I was just like, oh, okay, because like one idea led me to the next. I didn't get a deck and then the next day I'm like, hey, I'm posting online. It was more so like I waited about a couple of months. I'm like, oh, let me just create online. Let me try to reach some new people. It was never a thought about having a business, coaching people one-on-one. It was never thought. It was like, oh, let me just show people I do readings. That was what it always was. Let me just show people
Wow.
I do readings. But one thing started to unfold into another. And so it's like you will know when it's really time to activate it to that fully. If there is tension with some type of activation of a phase, give yourself that grace and patience because it may not be time to rush this phase like you're thinking. But again, naturally, as a generator, you want to go, go, go. So it's more so about remembering I'm someone who goes through these phases where it's more rhythmic and just honoring your body's natural rhythm.
Yeah.
So some shadow work and not self patterns, whether you do these now, you do these, you go back to this video to know that you have this, knowing that your frustration is going to be showing you where something is overridden. And so I put a few things on here that could activate some not self themes within your chart. And so the generator not self talks about initiating from the mind. This can look like frustration, effort without satisfaction, or feeling like you're pushing water uphill. Return to your response. You can ask yourself, am I responding to something real or am I just making this up from fear and feeling like I have to do this thing? And even when we're talking about sometimes when we're hearing things or we're seeing things, is this coming from source? Is this coming from my soul, or is this coming from fear? Is this coming from anxiety? Is this coming from more ego-led things versus intuitive-led things? um and then if it is coming from ego, okay, ego, what are you trying to tell me right now? What are you showing me? What should I lean into? Now, the triple split, this is where what we talked about before, where we're saying, does this external connection or conversation look like validation? Chasing bridges versus letting them naturally happen. So this can look like overscheduling, constantly having some type of external stimulation, or filling gaps with wrong people or overconsumption. So this will like, I've talked about this thing too much. It is what it is. So pay attention to what truly honors you, what aligns you, what bridges you. It's not about more, but knowing that it's about just what's really aligned and right for you. Sometimes a bridge for you can be solitude. That can be restorative. Not that you're not doing anything or you're lazy. It's more so like that's restorative for me in this
What
phase.
does it mean like chasing bridges? So like I'm trying to get this because I know this is so important for me. Like it
Yeah, no,
is
you're good.
if
And even
I'm
if you
like,
need time to really fully actualize it. So whenever you hear a bridge, when we're talking
yeah,
about your chart, this is about knowing that triple split energy, you really fully feel whole after a few different
things that I do. Like what
things. I just call them bridges. And so when we talked about
resting.
earlier how you
Okay.
might have that emotional authority, then you have a conversation about it and or you talk out loud through that throat center, or you
Would
feel like,
journaling be that too? Like a
yes.
bridge journaling? Okay, yeah, because I feel great like after
Yes, because that's a level of expression,
that.
but yeah, that's a level of expression. And then also this inspiration versus pressure. So these three examples, that inner emotional authority, that throat center, that expression, your voice, communication, being a channel, and then your inspiration, these are your bridges. And so for you, it's paying attention to going back to what it was saying. Am I just going after things to do it? Or am I
I
doing it
do
because
that
I
a
feel
lot. Like what I really want to get present to is like even yesterday, right? Like I didn't get a lot of sleep. And
Hmm.
so for half of the day, I was like, I need to do this and I need to do this so I can feel good. Da 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 da. But it's also like that was so annoying. So I
Yeah.
just shut up and like put on my Mormon wives, and that was I
Yeah.
needed that. Like that's it.
Yeah,
That was
sometimes,
so
yeah,
good.
it's like feeling, and that's a great example when you're talking about you're
Yeah,
just kind of feeling like you have to do these things versus
yeah.
what will what would
To
bring me
give
a
that
lot of
up.
satisfaction?
Because I
What
didn't
would bring
know. I was very confused. Like, was that the right thing to do, was to try to do all these things, or like just indulge in Mormon wives because I haven't slept? And I was like, this feels so much better than trying to do everything I was just trying to do.
And then another thing I'd tell yourself moving forward as someone who's triple split and finding that balance from what does this multitude of layers help me move forward with is telling yourself, sometimes how do I just make this decision right? Sometimes how do I make this rest right instead of was that the right thing? Because sometimes we get so caught up in the right thing that we do nothing or we feel
Yeah,
stuck
that's
with the
what I do.
decisions we've made. Yeah,
I
it's
end
more
up
so
doing
about
nothing
okay,
and
I
just
decided
scatter.
to watch TV. How do I make this right? Do I rest? Do I wind down? What does that look like? And sometimes just, laying in the bed that you made, and that's okay. That's literally what it's
It
about.
was like fighting myself to do that, and the thing is like I had a morning of doing it, right? And it's like then I was like not doing anything, thinking about and then it was nice to have that awareness, like just go put on your TV. So thank you. Like this was so
Yes,
great.
yes, yeah, that's what it's about. Just knowing, like, sometimes we just need that reset, And again, because women are cyclical beings, every day won't look the go, go, go the same. Our energy levels are fluctuating, and the luteal phase is a phase in its own. Seriously, like it's like a whole bunch of I don't want to. Maybe I should. You know what? Hungry, sleep,
It's
whatever,
good
and
to
it's just
know.
like a whole
Okay.
bunch.
That is so good
Um,
to know too, because I'm like, I
yeah,
think it's like gonna last forever and that I'm always like this. And it's just nice to know that was a phase.
yeah, that's literally
Which
just the
happens
thing.
often, which would make sense because it's a phase in my cycle. But I hate that. Like I shouldn't say hate, maybe I should figure out a different word, but I just don't like when I'm like that. I do not
And
like not
again,
clean.
it and one thing I want to touch on what you just said. Even if we feel like, I absolutely hate that. Again, as a generator, I know that this is frustrating me. And with my frustration is bringing awareness to something I should work on or adjust. Especially again with frustration, if something is frustrating, you have no control over it. Now, so it's about, okay, how can I start to adjust this in a way that makes me feel more aligned? And just playing around
Okay.
with your body's foods that you're eating, like how you talked about sometimes eating this certain meat makes me feel this way. I'm gonna stop eating that meat because I know if I eat that on luteal phase, I'm gonna feel like I'm blah 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 blah. It's the end of the world. And so it's not even just about to not pretend that you don't hate this thing in the beginning. Sometimes it's just about, okay, this is frustrating me. How can I shift it?
Sweet. Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Sound
Okay,
like
cool.
so San Diego right there. Sweet.
And so, gate
Uh,
40, obligation over boundary is something that you want to be mindful of, especially as that five line in you, knowing that, again, we're talking about that inner resentment that we're just quietly building because we're not honoring how we feel, giving from depletion, or just
wow.
sometimes it's hard to say no to something that was once your normal.
Yeah.
And so what that looks like is honoring that feeling, that phase as something that is sacred, taking some time out for you to regenerate, to do better. That's all it is. Taking some time out for you. Migration shadow. Again, we already touched on this movement as an escape. So this can look like
Real
just,
quick for
yeah.
this obligation and bound, this is really good for THC. Like I feel like this a
I
lot
was
when I go
thinking
to
that. I just didn't say it
yeah.
when I was talking about saying no to what once felt good. THC, the coffee, whatever.
So do you
Um,
just say no to it or how do you approach that? Because for me, like I won't think about the weed all day and then finally I'm like I'm alone and a lot of it is I'm bored and like it's like getting high feels better than not being high, right? So
yeah.
I want to have it. And it's like, do I allow myself to have that or do I reset, like no. So
So I
those are
want to
things
break
that I
down
kind
that
of work
thought
on.
process really quickly because as a generator, know that you're always going to be aligned to go after your satisfaction because that is your signature theme. When we go to your chart, generators should always be satisfied. And typically you're satisfied through following your excitement or curiosity. Now, I say a lot aligned satisfaction because there are things that can satisfy us, but may not be aligned with what we're working toward, who we're becoming, or who we are in this phase. And so for you, that would look like what would truly satisfy me on a soul level in this moment. And
Okay,
sometimes, it's about knowing your body.
I feel you.
Um,
Yeah.
but like I want to give a quick example. And it's sometimes just about if you feel like you're doing something because you're bored deep down, like how you realize that, oh, I'm bored, what's something I can do? Should I read? Should I work on my book? Should I take a nap? Should I go for a walk? Sometimes it's good to already have certain things on default to be ready to do. Sometimes it's look like, you know what? Do I really like weed or do I just like to smoke? How we talked about coffee. Do I really like the caffeine or do I just like the taste? Maybe I can roll up some lavender and some rose. I know that might sound lame, but that can,
Yeah.
sometimes give that feeling of, still smoking, but also it giving you more of a relaxed, calming feeling.
With the
Um,
spiral studies girl that I'm doing this all with, she actually has me implementing tea with my THC so that I
yeah,
get used to doing that. But here's the thing, I did that for a very long time. Then all of a sudden it went out the window and I'm like, nope. And she said that's what happens when you're trying to take away a pattern that you've had for so long.
yeah.
So now I'm back into like not doing that. So maybe just going back to re-implementing it. It's just like I'm so resistant. But one thing I will take away from this is that there is some times where like I don't want it that bad, but I want it. I think those are the times to resist. Like when I really, really, really just like I need it, then okay, yeah. But there's times where I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going out with Mark, and I usually have some when I leave to have, to feel good or whatever it is. Um, and now I'm like, I don't need that so much. A lot of it's like more at nighttime
Yeah.
that I
And I
do
was just
that.
gonna say that I feel like, whatever type of recreational use you have. So I personally have like this universal belief, whatever you do for recreation, as long as you're not harming yourself or anyone, let it be what it is. But then if we feel like, you know what, this is getting in the way of my health or my productivity,
Right.
that's when I really pump the brakes. So
Yeah.
if you, as long as you see this is really not affecting me, hey, screw it. Now, sometimes I like to play little games in life. So, like when I was going back to the coffee thing, it's not that I just want to stop drinking coffee. I was like, I do need to lessen up. Let me just go 30 days without it. And then after my 30 days, I'm gonna go get me a latte. And it started off with 30 days and now it's looking like 60, 90, whatever. Sometimes it's like, if I wanted to, could I stop? Ask yourself these questions. And then if you feel like deep down that does look like a really hard situation, then this looks like again what we talked about before with the replacement and or really tell yourself, and again, this is like homework. These are things that we're working on doing. Because again, if you've been doing something for over a decade, sometimes 6 months just ain't enough to stop it. It is what it is. It's okay. It's more
Right.
so about the conscious awareness to continue to do it, especially if it's affecting my health and or productivity. But if it's not,
Yeah.
honestly, who cares? But it goes back to,
Yeah.
dang, I lost that thought. What was I talking about? Having that replacement. And then also, so like for me, I am a foodie at heart. It is what it is. But one thing I know, I can't have it around me. If it's in my environment, I'm more than likely to do it.
I'm like
And
that.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, I would stop having certain things around me. So it's like if I did indulge in certain things, that's not even an option for me. And then also, if it really got to a point where I'm like, deep down, I might be eating because I'm bored or eating because I'm blah, blah, blah. It's like my mind controls my body. The body does not control me. And I just tell myself that. And sometimes you have to go on a walk and tell yourself that. It depends on what phase you're in and what you're really working on. And more importantly, going back to what do you desire the most?
Yeah.
Because again, going back to the satisfaction, I'll say a lot more aligned satisfaction because when your natural default is a sense of satisfaction that no longer resonates with who you are, we have to reprogram
It's
that. So
not for me.
I want to give a quick
Yeah.
story as an example. I know a generator astrologer who was launching a business plan or promotion. No, she was launching a new business item and she was super excited about she was doing so much work on it. She launched it and it didn't get the result that she wanted. And so there was that frustration that came in. And so naturally, because she was frustrated, she was looking for something to satisfy her and she was looking for pleasure knocking on a door that just didn't serve her. And so she realized, like, she didn't realize it, but there was some resistance in doing that thing. And then she realized, like, oh, I'm just looking for satisfaction. I just don't need to get it from that person. I'll get satisfaction from something else. So that's why I say ask yourself these questions because there are some things that we may not be able to figure out while we're talking until we sit in the moment. And it's like, is it the thing that I want really, or is it the feeling that it gives me? Or if we're talking about coffee, is it just the taste that I like and it's not the liquid itself? Because there are some people who drink coffee because they need it, or they program themselves to feel like they need it, and a nap is a crime, or their schedule doesn't allow it. And it's more so about, let's give an example of somebody who works so much they need the coffee, and they stop drinking the coffee and they realize, dang, it's hard for me to keep up work. Well, damn, should I be working like this? It is more so about you just really changing so much of your life than it is of removing the thing itself. Because that,
Wow. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
doing that. That's why I'm seeing that I'm doing it less because I am integrating. So
Yeah.
it's like just, I think I just need to stop being so hard on myself. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that. Like I'm doing the
Yeah.
stuff. Like I'm not needing it as much as I need to.
The
So
reality is,
yeah,
if you dealt with something, I'd say 5, but even 3, even 1, but even 3 to 5 years, that was a part of you, a core part of you.
yeah,
You are having to give yourself that patience with rewriting
yeah,
that timeline. For some people, it might stick. For others, it's like, whoo, even if it's a manifestation, it's like, damn, is this real? This is why people will get an influx of income sometimes, but when they're nervous, is not used to that, the default is used to seeing this certain dollar amount. So then they go do actions that align with what they're used to seeing. And it's more so about how do we raise that default again and being aware of that. And sometimes just having that accountability from someone else, like, hey, remember, blah, 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 blah. And having someone again who goes back to those right people in your life who understand who you are, where you are, what you're doing. And you'll find that there's so much flow. But when you're used to tension, it's like, God damn, is this a new world? I'm feeling reborn because I'm not used to this.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally what it is like when you timeline jump. These things come in
Okay.
so fast, and it's like, wow,
It's just that. It's like not feeling, yeah, it's totally that. Just like it's just so weird. It feels like I'm naked without it. So it's
yeah,
not that I want it. And a
yeah,
lot of the times I don't even want to be high, but then if I do smoke like just herbs, then I feel like I'm missing out. I'm like,
yeah.
okay,
And it's
so
just, it's again, you're just uncovering these new layers. And I think it's really a huge tell for you if on a deep level, you really don't even care to be high sometimes. It's just like, I'm just so used to it. It's just like, it's a part of me because I
yeah,
don't care to do it.
so
And that was
true.
me when I stopped drinking at one point. Like, I never cared to really drink, but it was so normalized. I'm like, oh, let me pour up whatever, cool. But I realized
Right.
I don't even want to do this. So
Yeah.
I just stopped. And it was even a challenge at one point when it's like people
Oh,
like, oh, really? You stop? Why? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like knowing if deep down I don't desire because we're motivation, I mean, because we're desire motivation, we always ask ourselves, do I desire to do this? That is our end all be all. And that within
yeah,
itself,
it's so clear. Like, no, I don't want to
yeah.
smoke weed.
When
I
you
really
ask,
don't. I
do I
just don't.
desire this? And it's a clear, hard no,
Yeah.
cool. And sometimes it takes a minute to get to that clear, hard no, that emotional authority. But like, start asking yourself, do I desire to do this? And for
Yeah,
most
that's
things, that'll
good.
really show you alignment,
I love it. Thank you.
of
It's so
course.
good.
And
Everything's
so,
so great.
of course. And so, what I'll end up doing is maybe next session, because I see how many slides is this?
Sorry, I feel like I talk so much.
No, no, no,
Like
no.
I
You're
feel
good.
bad,
I'd
but
rather it be more so of your understanding. You answer questions now versus like you had some confusion, you just didn't say anything.
it
Um,
seems like when I talk it out too, that helps. So it's funny that I'm not that one, I feel
and
like.
it go no, no, no. So it shows up differently for you. So
Okay.
again, you have triple split, and we're talking about communicate, conceptualize. Your voice is a primary channel.
Right. Okay.
Expression and mental processing. This is one of your defining bridges that help you gain a sense of clarity and direction. So you'll find it comes
I
in a
get
multitude of
that.
ways. Huh?
Because it's not that I feel that because I get that I'm not being codependent on you. I'm literally like exploring, hey, does this mean this with
Yeah,
weed? Like, can I explain it
you
that
know,
way? I
I'm
love
not
that.
giving you anything to say. I'm responding to everything you're saying. Oh, yeah, you're actually, and again, it goes back to what we said here, the right people,
Yeah.
having the right people. Because
Yeah.
some people may try to tell you you need to do this and you need to do that.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, well, they said I should do it. They have this certification. They went to this school. They have this job. Let me do it. That's when that sense of codependency comes in
Okay.
versus just a mental processing or actual conversation or bouncing off ideas. So that's a big thing for you. Expression in any way, whether you're writing or you're talking, but your communication is huge for you and a sense of clarity. Um, a few more shadow work and not self patterns I want to talk about is these last two, the 5-1 profile and then emotional authority. So for 5-1, this looks like some possible folding under projection, saying yes when you know deep down the foundation isn't there, or performing confidence without preparation. Is actually hilarious because I've had to do that before. And the reality was I just didn't prepare. As a 5-1, ways to avoid this is just leaning more to that one line because people naturally know that you can problem solve. It's more so about, did I do my homework? That's all it is. Did I do my homework? Did I do my research? And that's why if someone asked me about something, so like literally last meeting, I don't know if you remember, you asked me like, oh, what is a triple split? I was not finna lie to you. I said, you know what? Let me do some research on that and come back because I haven't had too many clients with this. So I never worked with this much at all, to be honest. But I'm like, you know what? Let me dive more into this. And so now when we're breaking down this concept, it's like, boom, okay, cool. But like as a 5-1,
What
that
are the other ones? Just curious. There's a triple split and what
there's a
else?
triple split, there is a split, there is a let me go back. There's a triple split, there's a split, there is let me go to mine because
What's
actually
what's the difference? I feel like it helps me understand mine more when I know that.
so just how giving an example for yours, triple split is you having these three different. Some people have two.
Right. Okay.
Some
Okay.
people have
Wow,
one.
I'm three. Just
Yeah,
get
so like that's an
scattered.
example. Yeah, that's just the like plain example to tell you. Just like for triple split and split, yours is three, split is two. They have two different centers that really give them that sense of clarity and confidence to move forward, while someone else might have one.
And so
Um,
mine is the throat, talking and expressing. I just want to make sure I know it.
yeah,
Talking and
let's go back.
expressing.
So,
Okay.
throat is one of yours, your sacral and solar. So this is a
Okay.
mix of that
The
inner excitement plus you allowing your emotions to
okay.
process. And then that
Sweet.
third is going to be asking yourself, is this from pressure or is this from inspiration? So let's give an example of the last coach. That showing up a lot was from pressure more than like, you know what, I feel inspired to show up. And I feel like
Yeah.
more than not, this new coach has you in a wave of excitement and more contentment with showing up
Yeah.
because she's meeting
Wow.
you where you are. So that's a
This is
great
so
example of
good.
when we're talking about alignment and decision making with things.
Everyone needs to do this. Wow.
Okay. No, seriously, I feel like though I love astrology, and I haven't even gotten super deep with astrology, like knowing degrees or certain squares and trines, but I feel like human design, it just makes fucking sense. Like it just makes sense.
Crazy how much
Um,
it's me. Yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, for you overall, it's just like knowing typically you're going to want to lean into all three of those different definitions to feel whole and moving forward.
Sweet.
Sometimes this can take days, this can take hours, this can take weeks. Just knowing, using your discernment when do I have the time and luxury to uh make my time this decision, the whole nine. Or have I been sitting on this for a while and I know deep down it's time. And then lastly, this emotional authority shadow is just more so being mindful about making sure I'm not deciding at a peak emotion, happy, excitement, or a pit, anger, sadness, because decisions you would have made in the moment when you're angered, when you're neutral or happy, you're like, why the fuck did I do that? Or why did I say that? Or why was I thinking like that? The whole nine. So it's more so about knowing your high or low is not going to be truth. Waiting for, so sometimes if it's looking like if you're really angered about something, let me just wait to have this conversation because I don't know what I might say. The quiet inner knowing is the signal for you. So sometimes revisiting certain topics or just saying, you know what, let me wait on this purchase because I just feel really good and blah, 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 blah. And so lastly, these core life themes overall that go through just your chart, knowing that community is your fuel, you're not meant to work alone. The right people are not a distraction to you or frustration to you. The bird is back as I say that.
Telling
um,
you that because it was that with this gym that I was not aligned with. I don't have to get into it. But that's why the bird's
yeah,
there. This was a huge breakthrough for me to leave these
literally.
people. That's what my whole book is about. I've just been confused back and forth for 5 years. Should we be friends? Should we not? And it's like, or even friends that I've left behind. Then I come back and apologize when I'm not really even the one in the
Yeah, you
wrong and
weren't
I'm
in the
trying to
wrong.
be
And it's just
friends
like it
again.
wasn't aligned. And that's
What?
okay.
Yeah.
And so, feeling
This
as
is
a
great.
truth filter, knowing that like your truth doesn't come through straight intellectual as you feel into something. And so giving
Okay.
yourself some time. If something feels wrong in the body, overall, it's more than likely wrong for you. This can apply to offers, clients, relationships, or just decisions. Most of the time, if it really feels wrong in the body, that's your decision. The hermit in the
So
call,
with
knowing
this
that.
though, real quick, like if I'm, that's the thing though. I said to don't give your yes when you're t completely excited. But what if my body is like, whoa, yeah, 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 yeah. But like maybe still give more time on that. I'm asking because I really feel like I found the editor for my book and I'm freaking out. Like it's like perfect. And I feel that, but then I'm like, am I just excited and then I'm gonna hate
And
this
so
that I
when,
tried
how soon did you find this person? Like, how recent was this?
yesterday?
Yesterday? Give it 2 weeks.
Give it 2 weeks. Thank
Give it
you.
about 2 weeks and see if you still have that excitement and yes.
Okay,
even when
great.
you're like calm. Because especially because it's so fresh, it's like I'm excited. This is gonna help activate something new. Give it 2 weeks because literally this weekend ends the shadow period of retrograde. So there's gonna be a sense of clarity that comes in. And then also give yourself some time to practice what it looks like to really hone in on that emotional authority. Because this is a decision that's not time sensitive, right?
No, yeah, it's not time sensitive
It's
at
not
all.
time sensitive. It's about a major impact of a personal project you're working on. And yeah, give it about 2 weeks. And if you still have that yes, let's go forward with it.
Sweet. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, the hermit and the call, knowing that you need that private space to tune into that inner genius. And there are going to be times where you're called out of it repeatedly. Both are good for you. So knowing when you have those phases where I'm like, oh, leave me alone, but also phases where you're getting called to the front of the room or you're called to do this, blah, blah, blah. The cave, the time where you retreat is going to be where you develop that wisdom, but the calling is when you're helping and serving and actualizing into that thing, your gift. Um, period. Moving through belonging, you build deep roots and then move. This is not consistency. This is not you being all over the place. This is who you're wired to be. It's that migration pattern in your chart.
That's good to know. Like I'm very mean to myself. Like what the fuck am I
Yeah.
doing?
No,
here?
it's more so like this served me in that phase. Next.
It's
Think of
funny.
it as like I no longer want to eat that kind of food. It's like it's nothing wrong with that and take that pressure off of you. Because
Wow.
again,
Okay.
the next point, do I desire this? And granted, there's going to be times where we don't desire things that we know we need to take care of. That's life within itself. But I go back to 70 to 80% of the decisions we make. Your power comes through desire. Your magnetism is proportional to your authentic desire. When you want something genuinely, it becomes effortless. When you build from that, I should do this, you'll find that that magnetic pull starts to disappear. So going through the conversation with the editor, if it's not deeply aligned, you're gonna find that that pull toward that thing is just like, I don't really know. At first, I was really excited, but now I changed my mind. So that's why I say give yourself about 2 weeks to kind of revisit it and go from there. And then also, again, your natural phase is work, rest, repeat. Your sacral is renewable energy, but only when you rest. Your satisfaction is your signature. So follow that. It's that sense of fulfillment, being honored, that sacred response, that full engagement, and then knowing that you'll need phases for that complete withdrawal. And so, overall, just to wrap up, you move through many worlds, build tribes in each one, carry the wisdom moving forward, and be the proof that change and belonging aren't opposites, but they can be a beautiful intertwinement.
Love it. This was so great. This was awesome. No, seriously, like
Okay.
I'm crying.
We finished
Like
in
it's
perfect
emotional for
timing.
me.
I was thinking, was I gonna
Yeah.
go over, but I feel like that I didn't want to do too many slides because I wanted us to be able to have conversation.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of questions and stuff, so I think that's always good because I
Yeah,
have so
and you
much
can
to
always
say
text
here.
me questions or anything.
Okay.
But moving forward, if we're ever having more of a teaching or lectured style call, that's pretty much what I like to do. I'm typically like more of a PowerPoint type of vibe, but that's why I was saying the
Okay.
first meeting, I just wanted to go into like chart stuff. But I would say, as far as any learning or topics that you want to touch on within the next 2 weeks, let me know. I'll make sure I
Sure.
put something together for it. If not, I'll kind of just continue to go through your chart and talk about different things that are relevant to what you're doing now.
Would you mind if it's okay? It doesn't have to be right now, but whenever you feel like it, maybe you could do a little reading or just figure out what you think about the editor that I have in mind for myself.
Okay. But do you want to do it now? I know it's 11. Do you
Yeah,
want
no,
to
we
read
can do we
it?
can do it now. We have a little bit of time. It takes me 10 minutes to get to the gym, so it's not
Okay. Are you
too
sure?
bad.
Because I can also send you a recording or a video. What do you prefer?
Um, I think I think right now will be good. If it's just 5 minutes, yeah, I don't think that'll
Got you.
be
Okay.
too bad. I really feel good about it because I just couldn't believe it. I felt very led God. I felt like God led me to this lady and it has birds. Her whole thing is birds. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's her like mascot or whatever that she uses. And she works with women. That's what she's most interested in. Her books are about empowerment, which is mine is self-help with women. And then also she likes a little bit of magic in there. And I'm like, literally, that's what my book is about finding God, about finding these angel numbers that led me to God, that led me to you, that led me to all of this. So it's like, I just feel so good about it. Like, but then again, here I am in that emotional authoritative mindset. Like I'm stoked right now. But and then usually I would rush it. I'd be already messaging her, doing all these things. So I won't do that.
Yeah.
Even after this reading, I'll probably wait, but that was my kids. Oh, girls, they're ready for their tablets. You
Mhm.
guys can go on your tablets now. Okay? Goodness.
So I pulled about 5 cards and four. Let me get it. Let me pull one more. What is this chariot in reverse? Okay. I feel like with this fourth one, I'm a bit cheating you a bit out of your emotional authority experience, like you just said. But I'm getting a yes across the board. And I feel like, again, this is, and it's even interesting how we are also processing that triple split because this is that conversational piece, which is nothing wrong with that. I was just teasing you. That conversational piece where it's like you have the sacral response that's naturally having you excited, but I would still wait, like you said, to message her
Yeah.
just so you can really hone in on that emotional authority and how it processes itself. But I feel like she's going to bring you a bit of ease to how chaotic it can feel to write a book. That's the first thing that came out. There's a level
Yes.
of like, it's fine that she's going to bring. I feel like you guys are really aligned. I also feel like she will help with any overthinking in your process. Um, and I feel like she's just gonna help move things forward on the whole. I feel like are you looking to work with her like in Taurus
So
season?
that was my next question is that like she has this whole thing of phases of how to like in basically your book, and it's like you really want to have it edited the best you can get before it, it's declined, like so it, makes it through. So I'm wondering if I should email her and be like, look, I really feel like you'd be interested in my book. It's not ready yet. Like just kind of get her to like know who I am, or if I should just wait and write your book, get it to the best edit that you
Oh,
can
okay.
and send it in. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you're
Because
saying
I'm
should I
finding
have
her
her
really
wait?
early.
So are you asking me should you have her wait to edit it or send what you have now?
Kind of, yeah. I wonder if she would even do that. I don't know, but like, I'm just wondering if I should put myself out there and go against like everything she wrote. She has her email, so I'm just like wondering if I should reach out now or just wait till I have it completely edited to where then I just kind of send it into her and I hope that she reaches back out.
Um, so when you're talking about when you have it completely edited, when are you thinking that will be? Just out of curiosity.
Probably, I would say another month, even maybe 2 months. I don't know. Spirit's telling me it's going to be done sooner, but it's hard for me to see that.
I don't feel like any of them necessarily is a wrong decision, but I don't see it being harm within like giving it a few days or so and then reaching out to see if she will work with you now. Because if it's a no, it's like, okay, revisit when you have it in a month. That may motivate you. But and honestly, when we're talking about timing, I am getting no later than Gemini season, which is around the corner. I was seeing like
Is that
Taurus
July or June?
June. I was seeing initially
Getting
I was
that
seeing
too. That's what I was getting. June. And I'm like, that's
yeah,
so early.
I was seeing that at the latest, like the summer at the latest, but I was seeing between Taurus season and Gemini season. Because
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, the order is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Yeah. So I see within the next two zodiac seasons, you'll be reaching out and or connecting or working with her in whatever capacity that looks like. But I definitely see that across the board, it is definitely a line for you guys to work together. For you, it is about also remembering the work that we are discussing when we're talking about
Yeah.
emotional authority, giving yourself that patience, trusting the rhythms, and knowing that like people help activate you. And I see that happening with your book and her.
Okay, great. And it's great for me to know that because even though I was at my most excited high, I didn't feel distracted by that excited. Like it felt intuitively grounded and right in my body. So it's just
Yeah.
that's really good to know.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
reality is with emotional authority, again, this is not about I have to wait to process this decision, but it's like if I can wait, sure, let's wait, but also giving yourself time. It's more so about not necessarily waiting to wait, but do I fully feel grounded in or process within this decision? That's really
Sweet.
more so what it's about with emotional authority.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, that
Of
just like
course.
solidified my day. Every time I get off with you, I feel like my day is brighter. So I hope you know that. It's just
Yes,
really
go
great.
enjoy CrossFit and have an
Yeah,
amazing day. And then we can obviously, you can text me whatever if anything, but let's plan to meet on Wednesday. And then I may
sweet.
text you this weekend to see about what would that look like of a third session, even if we just did it as maybe a reading on call or video, whatever you prefer.
Perfect. That sounds so awesome. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, talk to you soon.